It's February 2025, and I'm visiting the Valley of Fire, Nevada State Park. When you see the brilliant red colors of these sandstone rock formations, it's easy to see how this place got the name Valley of Fire. Roads in the park travel close to many beautiful sights, so if you have limited time, you can see a lot of stunning landscape without leaving your car. But if you have time and you want to get out and walk, there are many trails that can let you get close to striking natural wonders. The landscape of the park also includes a number of beautiful red sandstone arches. You may be surprised at some of the wildlife in the park. I saw these bighorn sheep just a short walk from my campsite. The park is located about an hour's drive from Las Vegas. To get to the Valley of Fire from Las Vegas, I drove northeast on Interstate 15. I got off of Interstate 15 at exit 75 at the Valley of Fire Highway. This portion of the Valley of Fire Highway travels through a relatively flat, arid desert area. I think that much of this land to the west of the state park is BLM land, and dispersed camping is permitted. I'm now approaching the park entrance and fee station. There's a day use fee and of course a fee for camping. Campsites can be reserved in advance using the Nevada State Park's website. It's a short drive from the fee station to the campground. There are two campgrounds in the park. They are located just ahead on the left, behind the sandstone rock formations. Both campgrounds offer shaded tables, grills, and water. I'm staying at the Arch Rock Campground, which doesn't provide electrical hookups, while the Atlatl Campground does have electrical hookups for RVs. The entrance to Arch Rock Campground is on the left. As you can see, I'm arriving just about at sundown, so there won't be a lot of time to look around before it gets dark. My campsite is just ahead on the right. It got dark soon after I arrived, and it was a relatively clear night, so there was a good opportunity to view the star-filled night sky over the campground. In the morning, the lovely warm light reveals my campsite against a backdrop of red sandstone rocks. The warm morning light also makes a good time to walk around the campground and explore the sights. My brother joined me on this trip. Up ahead on the left, that's his truck and travel trailer in the site next to mine. I didn't have to walk very far in the campground to get a nice view. I think this campground is really scenic. The campground is arranged as a loop. My campsite was close to the beginning of the loop. Continuing further into the campground, I thought the campsites in this area were particularly nice with spectacular views. I didn't get any video of the Atlatl Campground, but I think that the Arch Rock Campground is more attractive. As I was walking through the campground, I was surprised to find a group of bighorn sheep at one of the campsites. Of course, water is difficult to obtain in the desert. The bighorn sheep in the park have learned to visit campgrounds to obtain water, and they become comfortable around people. A few rams also climbed a nearby rock and obligingly posed for the camera. To explore more of the park, I and my brother set out to drive the White Domes Road, a 5.5-mile scenic drive which heads north from the Valley of Fire Highway. As you can see, the drive is indeed very scenic, with great views of steep, red sandstone cliffs with jagged spires and complex shapes. I froze the video here to point out the female bighorn sheep on the right side of the road. Just ahead, there's a turnoff on the right to go to the Fire Canyon Overlook. At the Overlook, we got out of my brother's truck and walked over to look at the spectacular canyon view. There's also a short path at the Overlook that goes out onto a point, offering a somewhat closer view of some of the canyon. I should also point out that the Overlook is one of the few places in the park where you're likely to have cell phone service. We're now driving to the trailhead for Firewave. Firewave is a very colorful and popular sandstone rock formation. It's about 3/4 of a mile from the trailhead to Firewave. The trail to Firewave starts with a view of a huge rock formation. The first part of the trail goes through rather deep sand. Of course, this requires significantly more effort than hard-packed trail. Eventually, the trail transitions to walking over rock. Firewave is indeed a striking rock formation with lovely swirls of color. We then drove to the White Dome's trailhead. The trail is a loop that travels down a steep canyon with towering rock walls on either side of the trail. The loop then returns through a slot canyon before climbing back up to the parking lot. Here, the trail becomes a descent, involving occasional scrambling over rocks. From the bottom of the canyon, looking back up the trail gives a better perspective of the descent down the canyon. At the bottom of the trail, there are the remains of a structure built for a movie. The park has been popular for filming movies and commercials. It must have been quite a job to bring building materials, crew, cameras, and actors to this site. The return part of the trail begins in a narrow, dry stream bed. After a relatively short distance, the stream bed turns into an extremely narrow slot canyon. The shade in the slot canyon was a welcome relief from the midday sun. After leaving the slot canyon, the trail continues uphill, heading back to the trailhead and parking lot. My brother and I really enjoyed our visit to the Valley of Fire. It's an extraordinarily beautiful and interesting place. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.